give feedback? Who loves to take feedback? Okay, so we have more people who are takers and less people who are givers, yeah? I'll be asking few more questions so that you keep on raising your hands right and left. One more question on your way. How many Zomato feedback givers here? 4, 5? Yeah, at what level?
40.
So there are levels on Zomato. The more feedbacks you give, the more discounts you get. You're not aware of this?
No.
Even though I start giving now.
Download the Zomato app and give feedback.
On the Pro also you can.
It's like, how many have actually given feedback on Google? Even there you have levels. So you reach on to the levels, the more feedback you give. For example, you put the search for this hotel, yeah, Armada. As you go home, the Google will ask you, did you check out Hotel Armada? How many stars do you give? And if you encourage giving feedback, it will ask, how is the parking? How is the AC? How are the people there? That's how important these days is how to give feedback. Now in Toastmasters per se, evaluation is given the utmost importance for people who want to grow, who want to develop themselves. And this is also a place where half the people did not turn back because he or she got not so good feedback. So as an evaluator, it's your first duty to give a feedback which is accepted by the speaker, and she or he comes back again running to give more feedbacks or to give more speeches. Anyone in this room, I don't know if I'm calling for trouble, have got not so good feedback? Okay.
New members. Maybe 10%.
So how would you take it? You would take it, this is good for me to improve, or would you just take it to that, I don't want to go to that place again because somebody did not give me a good feedback? How do you want to take it? I leave these answers to you. I don't want anybody to raise that answer. But as an evaluator, if you have motivated that person, you touched that speaker by giving positive feedback, that person will be your friend, or that person will consider you as a mentor for the rest of your life. So when you are an evaluator, you have to step in the shoes of two persons at one time. A parent and a teacher. A parent of a toddler and a teacher of an adult. So when you are giving a feedback to a toddler, you have to use that tone, right? You can't use the tone which you use for an adult. You have to go and say, oh no, my dear, please. This is how you can do it. So you, as an evaluator, you step into the shoe of a parent, and then when you want to guide someone the way you think is the right path, that's when you step into a shoe of a teacher or a trainer, and you lead that speaker to this path. This is what has worked for me. I suggest, why don't you do the same thing? So in Toastmasters, we follow several successful series, and this one of the series is called as the Successful Club series, under which we are going to learn today, evaluate to motivate. Timer, please give me 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and like 5 minutes green, 10 minutes amber. Let us divide the rule to have some discussion. Yeah. What do you evaluate? Let's start here. What do you evaluate when you go to a movie?
Acting.
Okay. Acting of the actors. Okay.
Story.
The story. Yeah. The content.
the seats of the cinema if you're
The seats of the cinema, right? Here you have a right evaluator. What do you evaluate when you go for a wedding? Okay, what else? The clothes, yeah. The music, the decor.
The reception.
The-
How they receive us.
How they receive you, yeah, the welcoming part. Okay, great. What do you evaluate when you go for a restaurant?
Service.
Not food, ambience first.
Service.
Service, okay.
Cleaners.
Quality of food.
The quality, the hygiene, okay.
The vibe of the restaurant.
The
The vibe.
the vibe, yeah, the ambience.
The
yes.
taste.
The taste of the food. Thank you for saying that.
Price also. Value for the money.
Smile of the
Value
waiter.
for money.
Smile of the waiter.
The welcoming, yes. And what do you evaluate when you go to a car showroom?
First thing is treatment.
Just in case if you have to go.
How do we get the treated? How we get treated?
How do you, the welcoming,
Welcome.
right?
Yes.
The discounts.
The discounts, the closing. Yeah, what is the pitch they're giving?
Actually, the air freshener.
So when you are an evaluator, you have various things. I mean, you can describe several different things because you never know what connects to what person, right? So as an evaluator, what do you see in a speaker? You are an evaluator. What do you want your speaker to be or to have?
Confidence. Eye contact.
Eye contact, connection, engagement,
deliver clear message.
clear message, yeah.
Clarity.
Clarity,
Body language.
body language,
Pace of speaking.
Vocal variety.
vocal variety, space. Oh my god, all the speakers are like, oh my god, so many people are going to look for so many things. Yeah? Let us see what the manual says. How does this move? I think it first starts with the quote. So the very first quote, which is very favorite to us, is feedback is the breakfast for the champions. The more feedback you give, the better the speaker would be. He will be a better champion. Great. Okay, how many project 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 speakers, project 1, 2, 3 speakers. Just 3, 4, okay. From 3 to 5 or 3 to 6?
11.
Oh, you're in level. I'm sorry, I'm old school. How many level 1 speakers here? Level 1 project speakers. Level 2? Level 1, level 2, level 3? Okay. How many have completed the old CC manual? Wow. How many guests? Yeah. That's better. Now we got the answer. Okay. Yeah, no problem, my bad. It came. Okay. So what happens when you're giving an evaluation? In evaluation, you're providing an immediate feedback. Okay? The speaker can connect and improve on the spot. Very good.
I'll do that.
Offering methods for improvement. So what as an evaluator you're going to do is offer the methods what will improve the position. For example, there is a speaker who has a tendency to move too much. Okay? The speaker, so you have to imagine a situation how the speakers are And then you are an evaluator, so how would you give a feedback? But remember, you have to step into a shoe of a teacher and a parent. Okay. So the speaker is moving around too much. So what is that feedback would you put forward to that speaker? Yeah, just go ahead. There is no right or wrong.
Stop moving.
Toddler, remember?
Try not to move so much.
Exactly. So that is how you step into the role of a parent. If you tell a toddler, stop moving,
I was raised by
Bring
Egypt,
down.
so that's how.
he'll bring down everything down on the floor. So that is how you give the feedback with that right, the vocal variety as a speaker. Offering methods to improvement. Building and maintaining self-esteem. Now always remember, when there is a speaker and if he or she is doing a mistake, it's not a mistake, but doing something which is not according to the taste of the audience means that speaker is not aware of the right method to do it. So as an evaluator, show the speaker instead of saying what to do. For example, stop moving or moving less would be put forward in a right way, stating, when you spoke about the father went to the village, I wanted you to step back. So you're creating a village atmosphere. Are you connecting? This is how the speaker is speaking. Yeah, the speaker is talking about the parent and the village and the school. And when you went to the college, I wanted you to move this way. So as an evaluator, you're not actually telling the speaker stop moving or less moving. Instead, you're explaining the speaker where exactly was the moment where he or she had to move. So you, for example, the evaluator has to get into the life of the speaker's story or the speaker's speech. For example, when the financer, she was talking about being very happy or going and talking to every speaker, she could have done something better. Yeah, but what is that better? We can't tell the speaker, you could have done something better when you're talking about repeatedly calling. But instead, as an evaluator, I said, when I called Miss Rehana, she said, no. Okay, so something, you should add a vocal variety, for example. And somebody said, oh, okay, I will give it to you. Okay. And somebody completely denied, but he was the right person to come and give me back. So you exactly step into the shoe of the speaker and give him the feedback. Now when you're giving a feedback, you can't give feedback for the entire 7-minute speech. So you have to, in my words, I call it as digging for diamonds. You have to find that sweet spot where the speaker did exceptionally well as per the best the speaker could have done. Okay? Now if the speaker is doing project 1, you don't want to expect him to raise his hands, walk around the room, who had motivation, had vocal variety, sing, dance. He's project 1 speaker. The first thing what he wants to do is he stood here and he spoke for 5 minutes. So as an evaluator, you have to appreciate the fact that he spoke 5 minutes. You have to give him that welcoming message. You remember? Everyone likes that welcome speech. So you have to see that the speaker has that self-esteem to come back and give that speech. Don't randomly say as an evaluator that you didn't do this good, you didn't do this bad. Yeah? Give him a specific good or bad improvement points. This is what I was telling actually. Tell and sell approach. You just don't tell and leave the audience, but instead you sell. Make it a point that the speaker remembers how you conclude. Most of them say, I wish you could have concluded it better. But how? Because if he knew how to conclude, he would have done it, right? Because he's not aware how to conclude, that's how he left it incomplete. So you can suggest him, probably you could have concluded by bringing the same character back. or by moving around or showing some loud expression or whatever. So next time when the speaker gives that speech, he or she remembers, this is how I need to conclude because that is how my evaluator suggested me the last time. Yeah. When the evaluator talks and the speaker listens, so give him the specific appreciation or area for improvement so he or she can implement it in next speech. So how do you effectively evaluate? For example, when I talk, I have this habit of moving this hand too much. So I can request my evaluator before the evaluation, please look into my hands. I don't want my hands to be seen to the audience. Probably I want to make use of my hands like this, or use the pointers, or do like this. So as an evaluator, you exactly know what is the improvement point the speaker is looking at. Have you all ever spoken to your evaluators in advance that this is the area I need to improve on? Not yet, but you can going forward. For example, you have, mostly we have this habit of, for ladies, if you are wearing a specs, you have this habit of moving your glasses or tying your hair. So you can always ask your evaluator, did I do this action more often? Did it went well? Did it went good? Some people have this habit of, they kept on, they'll be so busy talking, but their legs will be like, it will be hanging, and they actually don't have a control over it. Some people have a habit of, leaning backward and talking. And the best way of talking is when you're standing on the ball point of your foot. Yeah, you don't stand on your heel, especially men, because you tall stand, right? You stand like this. That gives a not so lazy, but a different approach. Then you stand on pointing on your toes. That's why you remember, ladies, they always wear heels because that gives them the audience, the confidence, because it makes them stand on the front foot. So, where were we? So going back, and how do you stand and how do you give feedback? How do you give speeches? So you can talk to your evaluator in advance on what is that thing you need to improve on. So talk to your evaluator before the evaluation and work on it. Because after you, over a period of time, you'll constantly get same feedback. Like, I did not get the conclusion correct, I did not hear the words at the end, sentences were not complete. So you can actually work on whatever was the feedback given from the audience. You can also take the objectives from what the manual says you have to do for this particular speech. If it is a research, has the research been done appropriately? Has the sources mentioned? Or if it is a collab or a teamwork, has the teamwork or a collaboration done? You can also follow the guidelines for the evaluator, what is mentioned in the manual. You can also talk to your evaluator on whatever other concerns you have. Probably the grammatical error or the R-counter error. You can have a discussion with your evaluator. During the speech, of course, when the speaker is speaking, you are an evaluator. Show the interest that you're listening to the speech. Yeah, you have to listen to the speech to give the feedback or the evaluation. Put yourself in the position of a speaker and a teacher and a parent. Take notes. If required, take notes, because that's when exactly you can say, when you were talking about point number 2, this is what you need to incorporate. And any of the evaluators who are going to do this today, the club will give some discount to them. So evaluators, pinpoint exactly what the speaker did wrong at what time, and then give the suggestion or improvement. How to evaluate effectively? Of course, during the evaluation, choose your words carefully. Okay? Stop moving. Not allowed. Next. Evaluate the speech and not the person. Right. Like you are a jolly person, that shows in your speech. When you're a jolly person and you're talking about a sad incident, it may not go with the speech. But when as an evaluator, give an effective feedback for the speech and not to the person who's talking. Okay? Because you are my friend, I know you are very good, but when you gave this speech, it was not so good. Okay? Nothing personal. It's for the speech and that particular speech. Promote self-esteem. I think it's coming once again so that the speaker comes back again to this podium and is eager to take feedback from the audience and your evaluator. Disingenuous. Honest evaluation are upbeat and encouraging while offering suggestions for improvement. Again, suggestions for improvement has to be upbeat in a positive manner and with a proper tone and with a nice sugar coating. I won't say, but do it if you can do it with the sugar coating. I think that's it. Closing? Yeah. As an evaluator, you're also doing a speech. Okay? So you should also have an opening, a body, and a conclusion. In a manner, you open by, of course, referring to the audience or to the your own speaker, and then you give the positive points, you give the improvement points, and you conclude. Now, if you're planning a contest style evaluation, the conclusion has almost 15 points, which we all forget. Okay, so you need to have an opening, body, and conclusion format. Conclusion is you summarize your key points, give a personal story or an example, encourage listeners to apply what they heard and learned. Now, when you're in an evaluator, remember what you saw and what you heard is how you evaluate. Now, what you saw in a speaker, the confidence, maybe a dress up or something, how they moved around, how were their hands, how were their legs, where were they seeing, it all comes on what you saw as an evaluator. What you hear is your vocal varieties, the pause, the enthusiasm, the voice, the energy is what you hear. So as an evaluator, let's conclude. What did we learn? So as an evaluator, what do you do? From whatever we learned now, let's revise.
Be a parent and teacher.
Okay, let's go. Raise your hands, one by one. Okay, yes, last.
Be a parent and teacher.
Be a parent and a teacher. Good.
Evaluate the speech, not the speaker.
Exactly, evaluate the speech, not the speaker.
That was my point, but also,
Okay.
also hear the speaker and see the speaker.
Yeah,
In
what
terms
did you
of
see and what did
language
you
and-
hear?
Yeah, body language and energy as well.
Correct.
Zomato discount.
That's your takeaway today.
Give examples when you are giving the feedback.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. Don't just say improve on this, but mention.
So as an evaluator, you are also giving a speech. So have a opening, body, and then a closer.
Exactly.
Dig for the diamonds.
Dig for the diamonds. That's my favorite.
Promote self-esteem.
Yeah, keep up the self-esteem so that you have to meet that person again after the meeting, during the break. So keep that self-esteem, you as an evaluator and he or she as a person. Anything I didn't cover? All the DTMs in the house,
Don't
please.
just, not a DTM, but don't just look at the speaker and give your evaluations. Look at the audience.
Wow. See, I missed that point. When you're an evaluator, don't just look at the speaker and give your feedback. Instead, you're giving a speech. So look at the audience. Wow. Let's have a round of applause for that. Great. I think we are done. We all are good for an evaluation. Who's now not ready in the room to give evaluation? Okay, who's ready to give the evaluation?
Me.
Yippee! Done. Tia Marie, over to you.